Hello and good evening, everyone. And if I seem like I'm out of breath, it's because, well, I think the adrenaline finally died down. Um, this is the first of what I hope to be many different reviews on RPGs that will span anywhere between the Nintendo Entertainment System and the current generation systems, of which I own the PS3. If I had a 360, we'd be including those. Unfortunately, I don't, so only the PS3 up to this point. I actually had two reviews going, believe it or not. One, as we all know, is for the first Final Fantasy. That's going along nicely. The second one, however, was a bit of a surprise to some people, although I kind of blew my load and told at least two people. And that was for the following game: Actraiser for the Super NES or Super Famicom, whichever country you live in. I don't give a fuck at this point. No, I do give a fuck, but I don't. You know how it is. Alright, let me tell you a little bit about Actraiser. It was developed by a company called Quintet. Its publishers were Enix for the Super Famicom and Super NES, and Virtual Console goes to Square Enix. It is available, of course, on the Super NES, the mobile phone, and your Virtual Console. It was released on the Super NES December 16th, 1990 in Japan, in November of 91 for the North American market, and Europe, goddamn, I feel sorry for you, actually, March 18th, 1993. Also, the mobile phone, September 1st, 2004. Virtual Console, March 20th, 2007. That was in Japan, May 28th, 2007 in North America, April 13th, 2007 in Europe. Alright, story of the game goes something like this. Well, how do I put this? You play God. Does that explain anything to you? No? Alright, try this. There's an evil being called Tanzra, and you are an angel. No, literally. Or a cherub, depending on whichever term you want to look at it. Idea is this. You go through 6 different lands in hoping to help rid the lands of Tanzra's demons, both in the act or action sections and the sim-based mode. Now, some of you may not consider this to be more of an RPG, which is what I'm kind of focusing on. The thing is, it kind of is. I'll explain how. In this game, your score actually does mean something. Your score determines, in Act 1, the following, and I actually found this out from reading a game fact. Determines the number of souls you can release, and also the number of enemies you're going to have to face when you get to the first act. Now, the number of souls released is important because if you want to get the max for all 6 cities, you're going to be busting some tail and cracking some serious skulls to try and attain the maximum. In case anybody's wondering, the most I've done, I think, is when I actually did complete this game, when I did beat this game for review, I got 5 out of 6. The biggest bitch for me, believe it or not, was the first town, Fillmore. I was a little short on getting the required score in order to get the max population. The game is interesting in that the spells are given to you by the townspeople when you find them. Now there's like 3. There may be another one, but I don't know where it is. The 3 main ones that I know of go as follows: Magical Fire, Stardust, and Aurora. Fire, the flames shoot out left to right. Aurora to or 4 big balls that just kind of circle the player and go outwards. And the Stardust is what I like to call the most broken spell in the game, because once you get it, you're not going to use anything else. It's kind of like how the Metal Blade is in Mega Man 2, if you want to really go there, because once you get the Stardust, it's the only spell you're going to use. And trust me on that one. Alright? Your most magic points you can have, or sources of magic you can use, is 7. They must be found, they must be found, sorry if I'm a little out kilter. They can be found either through the axe, or they can be found in the simulation mode and by being given to you from townspeople when they go fishing, mountain climbing, or whatever have you. How does one's level go up, and does your life bar actually get bigger? Yeah, it does. In order for that to happen, however, your population has to go up, and the game will tell you what your population goals are for the next level. You can go as high as, I think it's either 16 or I think it's 17. That is your maximum. However, that's not going to matter because, and this is no joke, if you are looking at this screen, picture basically up here, picture your player's bar being up here, and down here is your enemy's bar, and it goes all the way across the screen. Now think about that. So what you're dealing with oh, and you do have your main weapon is a sword, which does get a projectile, but it's only a one-time weapon, and you lose it if you die. But you can get it back, so that's no big deal. This game, I'm going to tell you now, has the most ball-busting boss rush in the history of video games. Now, there's going to be people that say, well, Mega Man has a hard one too. Well, yeah, the first game, but even then, I will counter that by saying, alright, you face 6 bosses. But let me ask you this question then. Do you face them one after the other, 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 and then face Wily? Twice? No, you don't. In this one, you go one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. You get 3 lives to go through essentially 8 bosses, once, twice. And here's the fun part. If you lose all 3 lives, you must start back at the beginning of the gauntlet. Isn't that fun? The good news is the game does give you some leniency and says, okay, when you face Tanzra, we're going to give you the projectile weapon, which you can find when before you face one of the bosses in one of the lands. Now, for those of you that can run circles around the action mode, or excuse me, can run circles around the regular, what they call story mode, there is a action mode or professional mode in this game. Consider it like the second quest, and also you can kind of consider basically the Japanese professional mode, or the Japanese ROM just without the simulation. See, check this out. They want you to go through all 12 stages plus death time, 3 lives. Oh, and did I forget to mention one thing? No continues. Yeah. Oh, and the enemies hit harder and they respawn quicker too. Now, for those of you wondering if I've ever attempted or if I've ever touched the Japanese ROM, the answer is yes. The Japanese version, yes, on a ROM. And it is a ball buster. Let me tell you, the enemies respawn quicker than they do on the North American copy that I have. that I was playing, and they hit harder. Instead of taking 1 bar of life off, they take 2. So imagine trying to go through the whole all 12 levels, and you got no continues. All 12 levels and death time. Congratulations, you just went through hell. If you can survive that. The thing about RPGs or action RPG games, generally speaking, a game like this, once you beat it, there is no replay value. I'm here to tell you, if let's say you're one of those people that didn't get all the maximum populations for each level, and you want to go back and you want to try and do it again, knock yourself out. Do the story mode, knock yourself out, and have fun with it. But if you're one of those people, or if you want to do the professional mode, be my guest, and you'll find out just how hard the Japanese ROM basically is. I promise you that. Would I suggest, and here, this is going to be the big question that we're going to do at the end of all the reviews as part of this review series. The big question is this: would I recommend that somebody pick this up on the Virtual Console or the standard cartridge? Answer: undoubtedly. I don't care what you have to pay for it. I don't care if you have to get it. I don't care if you can get it complete with the manual missing or whatever. If you can get a hold of the game, I suggest you get a hold of it, because it is a game that, as you're going to find out, when Enix, and yes, Enix did make this, when Enix was making games for the Super NES, we got some weird ones. I'm going to review those games as well. One such game, I'm going to make you this promise that I'm going to do, was called Robotrek for the Super NES. How weird is that one? Oh, trust me, you'll have to wait for a review on that one. Alright, quick letter grade. Between A+ and F, well, it's just nowhere near an F. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you it's not even middle of the ground. No. This is about it. A+. And like I said, I suggest you go find a copy of the game or download it on the Virtual Console. Don't know how much it could run you, but that shouldn't matter, because the game kicks ass, and you'd be stupid not to play it. The Final Fantasy game is coming along nicely, but painfully slow, so I might be working on another review alongside that one like I did with Actraiser. But until we meet again, my friends, the next review will be done whenever. So you have some fun, get your game on, and go play a good RPG. Or one that's similar to an RPG. Yeah, you hear me? You have a good night, everybody.